Last week, I predicted the good, bad, and ugly that could come with the post-Paralives era. But Paralives has already showcased some huge differences that will aid in an original life sim experience. I've had an idea for a while that free updates will create the hype instead of the promotion paid expansions would bring. The game and the developers seem so wholesome and committed to making a game for the community. However, what if that wholesomeness becomes the problem? But what about the community? They often play a big part in how a game is received, for better or worse. We've seen how people react to early access releases. We have yet to see the community react to an indie game, a new life sim with crazy amounts of potential. Though the same was said for Enjoy, so I don't know. You tell me if my predictions on the vibes after the release of early access feel right or wrong. I gave a disclaimer in the previous video, and what I said still applies here. These predictions were made before the release of Enjoy, and with the new context, I feel more confident about some and less so for others. Can you guess which predictions you think those are? Now, these are just personal predictions that I feel are possible for Paralives and its community. Any or all points I make could easily never happen, and it all can turn out in a way that is completely unexpected. Some of my predictions could even contradict each other. Anything could happen. I'm just going off vibes. The first vibe I'm getting is the success of Paralives will be a satisfying slow burn. We know this game has been hyped for such a long time, so when it finally drops, it will be everywhere. Expect your timeline to be flooded with video after video of playing Paralives for the first time. I wouldn't be surprised if the game started trending for a day, and throw in the original, never read before articles, new Sims-like competitor, insert redundant title here. And that's a recipe to kick off one of the most impactful days in life simulation. But this phase will not last forever. I've been seeing a lot more people start to realize this next point, but not enough to avoid the inevitable dry spell that will come after. Let's say this now because I doubt people understand even after what we've seen from Enjoy. Paralives will be bare bones. The content we have coming will most likely be less than what we would expect from a base game. Just wait. Suppressed the 2014 flashbacks of expecting the evolution of a franchise, but met with 11 years of potential. The state of Paralives Early Access will have a difference that sets this game apart from what we've experienced with The Sims 4. We won't have much, but what will be there could be a solid start. For example, the way conversations work, the multi-layered skill system, and their plan to keep rabbit hole careers rewarding and engaging are designed to keep the player immersed. The dev team made the choice to focus on adding a reason to play and return to each feature that comes with Paralives. And this choice is exactly why when the big YouTubers return to their original content and the talk of Paralives starts to die down as we wait for the next update, it won't be enough to kill the momentum. The player base will still be there, just quieter. We'll still have posts of people enjoying the game, enough content to watch, and the modding community will be enough to sustain consistent engagement. This is where we see a cycle start to form. Content update, the hype, the quiet, and repeat. Now, I said this will be a slow burn, so that means this game will need to see growth and popularity somehow. That's why I get the feeling each update will work as promotion for the game. What's better than seeing new content being added, but for free? Just a one-time purchase and all game content is yours. Let this cycle repeat for a couple of years and Paralives will slowly become a classic and eventually turn into one of those nostalgic games we remember as we look back on this chapter in Life Sims. Can anyone else already feel the formings of a passionate community? I even sometimes catch myself giving stan energy when new info comes out. With time, I can see this game easily forming a cult following. That's kind of an extreme term versus what could happen. More like a passionate small community that has intense dedication. Kind of like a specific type of Sims 4 player that lacks critical thinking, but makes up for it in unwavering loyalty. Okay, that's just me. I'm sorry. But I feel like Paralives is going to have a real niche community, and with niche communities, it can make it easier for a lot to fester, for better and for worse. Paralives at the minimum will have that dedicated fan base keeping conversations alive between updates. For the worse, in my experience, the most toxic communities have been the most committed. We all could name at least 3 that can feel this way. It almost feels like you can't have one without the other. With how long people have been around during development, I can imagine people forming really personal or even concerning attachments to Paralives. A dedicated fan base almost always comes with a bit of a toxic side. Let's just hope it's on the smaller side. Paralives will not fill the gap in live sims that The Sims 4 has left empty. When I see phrases like a new game to light a fire under EA, it's kind of sad because Paralives shouldn't be expected to measure up to the juggernaut that is The Sims 4. In my opinion, The Sims shouldn't need competition to start taking its player base seriously. Unfortunately, that's the way capitalism works, and a solution to that is beyond the scope of this video, but at the very least, we can recognize Paralives for what it is and has always been, an indie game. People say they know that, but I really don't believe they know what classifies a game as indie. I'm all for comparison, as it's just a tool to understand what we do and don't like. In principle, comparison isn't the problem, though the way people compare is very telling. The scale of The Sims 4 is massive. Some say the gameplay is shallow, others have no issue playing for hours. Regardless of the side you choose, the game has tons of content. The Sims 4 caters to many different playstyles and has a long list of features. Paralives will be the exact opposite. Indie games often have a unique concept. This is repeating a point I made before, but Paralives won't have everything. What it will have will be niche, experimental, and done well. Sadly, I don't think this will be recognized. At release, Paralives will have to rise to expectations it was never designed to meet. And that was the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to Paralives, its community, and what we could see when the game is finally released. I thoroughly enjoyed making these past 2 videos, specifically making predictions about the game itself. Honestly, the community scares me and is the main reason I stay away from social media. The extremism has gotten out of hand, and it's like we've lost the simplicity of enjoying games as they are and not have it be this make or break thing. That's why talking about the game itself is so fun, because Paralives is so unique in how they're developing a dollhouse simulator. I've been keeping up with what's been revealed recently, and it's been apparent since day one, but they're doubling down on the focus of Paralives. The dev team is putting nothing but passion and soul into a game that's funded by and designed for the community. Let's just hope that same community gives Paralives their flowers if it's deserved.